Welcome to Cloverbreaks, where a middle-aged child breaks into unopened packages of sports cards from his youth. I'm not a professional, just a hobbyist who likes to film the process because maybe you don't have anything else to do on a Saturday night, but experience a little nostalgia. Let's get to breaking. All right, well, I hope everyone is well out there in the world. Tonight we're going to be breaking into a 1986 rack pack of 86 Fleer. One of the differences between the rack packs of Fleer and the rack packs of Topps is Topps just put the baseball cards directly in there, where Fleer actually wrapped them inside of their wax packs that are inside the rack pack, which is kind of cool. Just to let everybody know what's going on, I've got my trusty 1980s Rubik's Cube here for good luck. I've got top loaders to put any good cards in. I've got my sleeves that I purchased from Beckett. And these are just what are called penny sleeves, and they just kind of protect the surface of the card. And then I've got card savers for kind of anybody in the middle. As far as value is concerned, and you can see the cards just slide right in there. I've got my loop tool for corners and a centering thing. And then I wanted to talk about these. These, terrible. Don't ever use them. They're going to destroy your cards. That being said, let's talk a little bit about the 86 Fleer set. The 1986 Fleer set comes, each one of these wax packs is going to come with 15 cards and one logo sticker. It's a team sticker, so it talks a little, or it's a, the team sticker shows, the Yankees logo or whatever the teams are. This set didn't actually have any managers in it, but it did have something really interesting. At the All-Star game, they took pictures of stars together, kind of arm in arm or standing next to each other. So there's a Wade Boggs card that's like next to Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. And I think those are really, really cool cards. There's also insert cards that were pretty rare. And there's a Rickey Henderson in there, a Cal Ripken, and those are kind of worth something as well. The rookie cards we're looking for are Jose Canseco, Vince Coleman, Lenny Dystra, Paul O'Neill, Cecil Fielder, and Andres Galarraga. There are also some other great rookie cards in the set, but the chase card is really the Jose Canseco card, and it's a little bit of nostalgia that constitutes its value because it was such a hot card back in the day because he had an 86 card, but Canseco didn't have a Topps card until the 87 base set, or a base card until the 87 Topps set. So the 1986 Jose Canseco card was a big deal back in the day. So that's one of the things that we're going after. Now, one thing that I kind of wanted to show you, and this is a picture of one of the cards from the set that I just kind of pulled out here. The 1986 Fleer card, and a lot of Fleer cards for that matter, even if they look like they're a gray edge or a blue edge, let me see if I can get this with this loop tool to show you a magnification of something. What you'll see here on the corner is that there's little dots everywhere. And those little dots make it really easy to see how damaged a corner is. Now, I obviously pulled a card that's very damaged. I think it was in an old box from when I was a kid or something like that, just to kind of illustrate how hard it is to find old Fleer cards in great condition because the dots, if they don't go all the way out to the center or all the way out to the edge, then it's never going to land in a PSA 10. But one thing that I did want to say is that I love that about the Fleer cards because there's really no question whether the corner, how soft a corner is. It really shows where and illustrates where way before its time. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. I'm actually, lately I've become a bit of a fan of Fleer because I feel like Fleer has really great pictures and they're very creative. One of the things about this set, if you were to a lot of people, when you're trying to put your cards in order and then you want to sell them, you either put them in numerical order so you can pick out a certain guy, but sometimes then you want to sell it as a team, right? And now you've got to go through and find all the Boston Red Sox or whatever and go through it that way. But this set, very interesting, they ordered the baseball cards by how the teams placed in the year before and then alphabetically by last name. So all the teams are actually already together, which I just think is super creative. And Fleer's photography, they had interesting photographs, action shots, very cool. With no further ado, I'm gonna bust in here to this Fleer whack pack. I use an X-Acto knife to get into these packs. By the way, this pack was authenticated by the Baseball Card Exchange, and that is one of the only places that you can go to make sure that it's an authentic pack. It hasn't been restuffed. A lot of the stuff that they sell comes directly out of a sealed factory box. So that's very cool as well. You know that you're getting a card that's not damaged. For anybody doesn't know, there is a company called PSA that grades a card in its condition from 0 to 10. And that's based on a lot of different things, but you just want to make sure that the cards that you're taking out of these packs are in the best condition that they can be. That has something to do with how dry was the room that they were stored in for the last, 1986 to 2021. I mean, 30 or more years. Now, if you see the back of this pack, you can see that the wax has actually moved over a little bit, right? And I can see straight through to a card. If this was not Baseball Card Exchange, I'd be worried about that, meaning that somebody maybe resealed the package or something like that. But the fact that it came from Baseball Card Exchange, I know that it's in great shape. So let's break into this. This is what the cover of the wax pack looked like. Rated number 1 again. It has a little asterisk there, and I saw in a video the other day that it is rated number 1 by Baseball Hobby News Reader. So all of the cards in the 1986 set, whether it was Topps or Fleer or Donruss, they all had dark edges. And what I mean by dark edges is, this dark navy color. So it's always tough to hide it's tough to hide any damage to the card. So 86 was a tough year for collectors. Now, the way that I like to hold the cards is by the edges. That's so that I'm not putting my fingerprints on it. And the oil can also damage the cover. So let's get into it. We got a Giant sticker. Phil Gardner. Brian Downing. Ricky Horton. There's Mike Jones. Thad Bosley. Nick Asaski. Shane Rawley. Ken Oberkfell. There's got 2 guys on that card. It's very interesting. Although Glenn Brummer is in the foreground, it's pretty much could be this guy's card too. And when you look at it, sharing a lot of real estate there. Jim Rice, here's a Hall of Famer, and that's a nice card. Good centering. Left to right, top to bottom, that is also a part of the gamble of how good your card is. And I just want to point out this tool that I think is really great. This costs like $6 or something like that online, Original Grade Master. You can line this up on top of the card and take a look to see how centered it is. But that Jim Rice is looking pretty good. So I'm going to put that over there on the side. Yeah, Oil Can Boyd, Dennis Boyd there. Great card. Gary Templeton. Britt Burns. The surface of these cards looks really great. As I move it in the light, I can see that, Fleer did a really great job. You really can't complain about the printing that Fleer does. The colors are always great. The saturation's high. There's Tom Waddell and Alan Wiggins. That's our first pack. So we've got 1 Hall of Famer. in the mix, and we'll now move to pack number 2. These are sealed. These wrappers are made out of wax, and one of the things that happened is the wax sitting on the back of the card. You can actually feel the texture with your thumb, and unfortunately, that can take away from the value of the card as well. So that's what's known as a wax card, the one that's on the back. The front is protected by this kind of worthless sticker, unless you're 12 years old and you get the Yankees. Scott Fletcher, we've got. The old Chicago White Sox logo. Ron Meredith. I believe I heard that they misspelled his name. Tippy Martinez. Bruce Tanner. Man, these cards just look great. They're in such great condition. The corners are all sharp. You can see there's no... I mean, this is the time you want to be, pulling one of those rookie cards, is a pack like this. Because you want to get a great PSA grade or a great, rating on the quality of your card. Pete Filson. I went to high school with a Filson, but it was spelled with a PH. Dan Pasqua. I was a Yankee fan. So were the Filsons. Jim Wynn. Imagine being a pitcher with the last name Wynn. Could be intimidating, or it could be really embarrassing if you don't put a lot of W's in the column. There's Bob Boone. Ray Fontenot. Here's what the back of the cards look like. They're yellow. Also black top and black bottom. So again, it's a little bit difficult to get a card in a high grade because it's very obvious, not like on a white card. Dave Henderson. There's Ray Siraj, I believe, or Siraj. But you can see these are really interesting pictures, very artistically done. I feel like Fleer kind of led the game on that. There is a Roger Clemens card in this set, and it's a great action shot. There's Craig Reynolds. That was the wax card. There's a Roger Clemens card in this set, and I always laugh. You think of Roger Clemens' 1985 card, which was his rookie 1985 Topps. It's just his shoulders and his face, no action. And then in 86, almost the same exact shot for the 86 Topps set. And then in 1987, it was the same thing again. So I always, if I was looking for a Roger Clemens card, I was always looking for it, in the Fleer card, because it's actually a real pretty card, and you can actually see how skinny he looks as compared to the weight that he would put on later. Some would say it had something to do with some juice that he was drinking. Oh, look at that. Steve Carlton insert card. Wow, that's pretty. Wow, I've never seen that card before. Oh, unfortunately, there is a nick over here in the corner. And God, that would have been beautiful to see without that nick. And, that's unfortunate. Sometimes that happens. But that's a beautiful card. I'll put it over here for now, but probably a little bit worthless at this point. And the reason is because you're damaged there, and there are so many of these out there. 86 Fleer, Topps, Donruss, all of them, they call something the junk wax era, and they're referring to the wax packaging and that they're junk because they're not worth anything because they printed so many of these things. So if somebody wanted to buy this Steve Carlton card, why would they buy one with a little nick on the side when as rare as it might be among all the players, it's not rare enough unless it's in really great condition. So here's Oral Hershiser, who I think is a very, very underrated pitcher, and I'm a huge fan of him, so I'm going to put him on the side. There's Barry Bonell. Roger McDowell. And it looks like that is a Roger McDowell rookie card. That's pretty awesome. Mets won the World Series in 1986, famously as a ball went underneath the legs of Bill Buckner on first base. Mookie Wilson, I believe, hit the ball. And I think Ray Knight was the guy who crossed home plate. One of the most memorable plays in baseball history. Darryl Motley. And unfortunate for Bill Buckner, as Bill Buckner had such an amazing career. One only has to look at the back of a baseball card and his stats to see how good of a baseball player he is. But his name is hardly ever mentioned without being connected to one error that the guy made. Golden Glove first baseman. Bobby Grich. Willie McGee. That's a cool card. His rookie year was 1983. He had an 83 Topps card. That was a cool card, a hot card back in the day. Mike Brown. Kent. The Phillies. A Pirate, I believe, before his time with the Phillies. Larry Herndon. Glenn Wilson. Terry Forster. And Gooden in action. So that's a cool card. Back in 1986, all Dwight Gooden cards were gorgeous. Were the heat. Everybody was chasing these cards. There's a Mattingly in action card that just looks awesome. But man, this is centered well. It's sharp. I'm really excited about that card. That's awesome. That's a special card. And Marty Barrett. And we close out with Jamie Easterly. All right, so that's 1986 Fleer. Since we didn't really pull anybody great, I have an extra 1986 Fleer pack here on the side, so I was going to save it for a quick unwrapping. But in this case, let's dig in and see if we can't pull something exciting from this same set. 6741A, I don't know what that means, but maybe it has something to do with the... Oh, look at that. We've got Herndon on the back. And because we have Herndon on the back, this might be an identical pack. One of the interesting things about Fleer in 1986, I mean, this is before, big-time collectors were trying to get in the game. The way that the machines would cut the cards, a lot of times you would put cards in a certain order, and the shuffling of them was identical. So there are people who understand the trail, what's called a trail. And a trail is a certain 3 or 4 cards that come before an important and invaluable card. So there's a card that says Hubie Brooks on it, and then I think 2 cards later is the Jose Canseco chase card. Interesting thing is Jose Canseco never really ended up being, like a Hall of Fame status, but he was the first 40-40 baseball player, which is 40 stolen bases and 40 home runs in the same season. But boy, he was all the rage in 1986, 1987, 1988, 1989. There's Joe Carter. Terry Francona. Oh, so this is what a rookie card looks like. Mike Woodward and Colin Ward on this one. This is, basically this and maybe 2 other ones have some common guys on them, but a lot of rookies in the 86 Fleer set. So I would have loved to see pretty much any other rookie card. We probably would have seen some value. But let's keep going. Roy Lee Jackson. Ted Simmons, Hall of Famer. Doyle Alexander. Oral Hershiser again. Yeah, I think this is possibly a repeat path. Now you might see that same path happen again. So we've got Orel Hershiser, Barry Mode, and there you go. Roger McDowell. We're seeing the same type of cards coming through. And this happened in 1986. So chances are, well, actually, I think Bobby Grich was the last card in the previous one, so we might see some new cards here. Nope, Willie McGee. I think we had seen that one before. Mike Brown, I think maybe was the last one. Nope. These all look familiar to me. And Larry Herndon. So there you go. 1986 Fleer. And I will see you guys on the next break. Hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. Start working. Start working.